Support for Toki's release has come from all over the world in recent years, with even celebrities like Cher joining in. But there's a very vocal group of Toki's former trainers and veterinarians who say this is not the right plan.
Husbandry behavior. This is her participating in her own health care.
I spent 18 years with her. That is 35% of my life. Forming, such an incredible love and bond with this animal.
She is truly a unique and special animal. I trust her with my child. Introducing my child to her after she was born. My child calls every killer whale Toki now. She loves whales because of Toki.
Animal trainers Marnie Wood and Heather Keenan have each spent more than a decade caring for Tokitae at the Miami Sequoia. They've since left the industry, but say they had to speak up after hearing about the plan to release Tokitae into a sea pen in the Puget Sound.
I believe it without a doubt, and I know Lolita wants to get to free waters. I don't care what anyone says. She's lived this long to have this opportunity.
I don't think it's based on what's in her best interest. I feel like it is based on what is in people's best interest and what people think is a virtuous moment, for them to feel good, but it's not looking out for this animal and this individual.
We've received death threats.
We aren't here to promote the Miami Seaquarium or the Dolphin Company. We're only here for her best interest.
The day of the news conference when they announced this, I resigned 5 minutes later. Maybe they think they're doing the right thing, but I disagree and I don't want to be involved.
Dr. Michael Renner has been part of Tokitae's veterinary team on and off for the past 30 years.
It's not like we're against releasing marine mammals or sea pens. I'm all for them, but there are candidates that make sense. Time in captivity is number one, or time in human care. 50 years is unprecedented. It's just, she's not a good candidate. Simple as that.
Since the announcement Tokitae would be moved, Dr. Renner and others have formed the group Truth for Toki, dedicated to bringing awareness to the risks of what they call an ill-fated plan.
This individual is not a big fan of change. We introduced a new animal into her pool many years ago, a bottlenose dolphin, and Toki had never seen a bottlenose dolphin before, and she was absolutely terrified. You can only imagine this type of change compared to transporting her all the way across the country, dropping her into a sea pen.
The group doesn't believe she can survive transport at her age, and even if she does, they say her release could endanger her own family.
She's been exposed to things here that they haven't been exposed to. That's putting an endangered pod of orcas, wild orcas that are already in trouble, have more risk. So she's a risk to them.
Yet Howard Garrett, co-founder of the Orca Network, says Toki will be assessed for pathogens by a team of veterinarians and federal authorities as a condition of her move.
Nobody, me more than anybody, I think, does not want any harm to come to southern resident orcas. So we can't let that happen, but fortunately, there are ways to prevent that.
But how long can Tokitae stay at the Miami Sequoia? Last year, Miami-Dade County deemed Tokitae's arena, including the smallest orca tank in North America, to be an unsafe structure due to corrosion and disrepair.
We all recognize that the situation she's in isn't great. Could it be better? Of course. And we want to do what's best for her.
Over the years, USDA inspections have found Tokitae's been eating rotten fish and living in a tank filled with algae and chipping paint. Some have wondered, why didn't her trainer speak up about these conditions in the past?
We have no control over the size of her pool. We would love nothing more than for her to have a larger facility and it to be either upgraded now or a new facility built for her.
Or if none of those are an option, moving her to SeaWorld. We know that they currently have the proper infrastructure, they have the experienced staff already in place.
SeaWorld Orlando has not responded to our inquiries about this idea, but Dr. Renner believes Tokitae should stay where she is.
I'd like her to live out the rest of her life in her home. The place she's called home for 50 years, the place she knows best. She's not stressed, she's content in that pool. I know that whale very well, I've known her for 30 years. She wouldn't have lived this long if it was horrible conditions, as people are saying.
Ultimately, the group believes they are Tokitae's family, and she already is home.
That's really all we want, is to be a part of the conversation, figure out what the best plan for Toki is as an individual, not as a symbol for killer whales across the country or the world. She's not a symbol, she is Toki.
She deserves, much more than this plan. She deserves a happy, healthy rest of her life.
While Toki's previous trainers and veterinarians may not support her move, we visited this aquarium and talked to staff. They told us that they do want her to go home. Also, the dolphin company recently put out a statement indicating that her current trainers are helping to prepare her for the journey ahead. In Miami, PJ Randhawa, King 5 News.